real quick. Make sure it's okay. I think it's okay. All right. So, how you doing today? Again, Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. It is October 7th, and this is your daily financial news. Before we get started with the news, let's congratulate someone who let me know yesterday, and more importantly, sent me their address. Folks, thank you for letting me know when you are closing deals, but if you want to get one of these cards, I need your address. So let's welcome or congratulate Jay for getting a rental property, getting a great deal on a rental property, doing the work, writing the offers, closing the deal. Congratulations, Jay. I'm going to drop it off in the mailbox right over there in a minute. So congratulations, and just awesome to see all of you doing the work, writing offers, and the like. A couple of quick announcements about one rental at a time. If you want to be part of the first 10,000 folks following me on IG, you need to follow me today or maybe tomorrow. We're about 96 followers short of that magic 10,000 number. Didn't think we'd ever get there, but you know what? Consistency, helping, being a positive member, you add a few every day. So we will see you at 10,000, and then we will go from there. In addition to that, we are seeing a really big uptick in the course, How to Get Started One Rental at a Time. And again, is how Olivia and I went from a single house to financial freedom. More importantly, it has all those bonus content out there, flipping, private money. The list is on, and we are adding more. Mortgage 101 will be added next week. The last 4 videos from Matt the Mortgage Guy. I have an Airbnb creator creating content right now. I have a new bonus section around how to use data. It's a lot of exciting stuff coming. And it's just fun to create for you and fun to attract other experts who are willing to create content and add bonus sections. So I want to congratulate the 600 lectures completed just yesterday. That's pretty amazing, and it feels great to see all of you doing the work. If you want to change your financial future, there's a link below. The course is $299, a screaming value with all of my content plus the bonus sections, and you get added to a private Facebook group if you have Facebook, and we are just about 1,000 members strong, where also my experts are interacting more and more often. Thank you, Lumberjack Dion. Jonathan Twomley's been in there. April Crosley's been in there. Anna Kelly's been in there. It's fantastic to see this movement grow. So a couple of things I want to talk about today as we are here on Saturday. Oh, one last thing. In about probably 26 minutes or so, we will be doing our weekly live session. I will be doing that from my computer, so I have more real estate so we can interact with your questions. So stay tuned for that. And most importantly, I spent the last week creating 50 years of housing data. If you watched my channel a couple weeks ago, I got lazy, frankly, and did 40 years, but I only did it every 5, so it was 1980, 85, 90, 95. It produced a lot of information, but also a lot of questions. So I went back and did it the right way. I have now gone back to 1970 and did every single year. So 71, 72, 73, 74, on and on and on. And I'm going to produce a video later today. It'll probably go out at 6 o'clock tonight about 50 years of housing data. And I promise you, there are some wacky surprises in that data. And again, I use this data to really understand what we're doing today, really understand that opinions don't matter, data matters. So you want to talk about today's housing being crazy high, you want to talk about unaffordability, you want to talk about all these things. Well, I've got 50 years of data now, and you are going to be shocked at some of the information. So yeah, it was fun to put together. Man, time consuming though, but anyways. So yesterday we reported a huge job number, right? 943,000 created, almost 1 million. I think we are 1 month away from posting a record job creation. I think August is going to be a barn burner, over 1 million. The question becomes, when do we really start worrying about inflation? If you're following this channel, you know I think it is like a slow boiling pot of water that is starting those little bubbles. If you've ever boiled water, we're on the cusp of a problem, and I think it's actually too late. I think it's already started. I think wage inflation was the start. I've highlighted it all along. Unfortunately, real wages with what I see coming actually go down, folks. That hurts to say. But when your wages go up 5%, but the cost of living goes up 6%, you lose. And I think that's where we're at with all the spending. So I ask you, is it really time to spend another $3.5 trillion? Where's the money going to go? Is it going to go to commodities and mess up our supply chain even more? Is it going to go to lumber and copper and cement and all of these components that are already running higher? Is it going to go to more jobs in an environment where lots of people can't find employees? It just feels like we have a raging fire today that is concerning. And if we really throw $3.5 trillion on top of that, man, I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. Love to hear from you what you think there. Again, lots of businesses needs employees. Employees do make more at home, at least in some states, in some areas. So what happens? You need to raise salaries. That is what is going on today. That's where wage inflation is. I think wage inflation continues, and it feels great in the moment. But unfortunately, as I've shared many times, and we shared yesterday, inflation is an outcome. Companies can reduce margin for only so long before they have to raise prices. And again, inflation was up, the word inflation was up 1,000% in the last quarterly release from CEOs. So the CEOs are telling you inflation is a problem, even though Jerome Powell wants you to close your eyes and pretend it is not there. It is definitely there. So again, talking about this eviction moratorium, it is running hot and heavy much faster this time, right? So it was filed, or it was created Tuesday. The first lawsuits or responses were done Wednesday. The government had it to respond by Friday, which was yesterday at 6 o'clock. I think it was 6 o'clock Eastern. It might have been 6 o'clock Pacific. I think it was 6 o'clock Eastern. I finally found their response this morning. This is what I took from it. Basically, the government is saying that, nope, this time is different. We have a deteriorating public health environment. Our job is to protect the public health. That's basically the government's response. What the apartment association and realtors are saying is, sorry, same unlawful act. Government acted in bad faith. And this is an unlawful order and, frankly, only being done to buy time. So that's where we sit at the close of Friday. We would expect probably a ruling Monday, Tuesday next week. It is going to be very interesting. Again, talking to attorneys this week, they are all telling me this could be back in the Supreme Court's hands to 10 to 14 business days. And yes, for those that are asking, yes, the Supreme Court is on recess. However, they still respond to emergencies, which this will certainly be one. So again, for those of you who are saying that this was done before the Supreme Court comes back, they will still respond to this very likely. At least that's what the attorneys are telling me. So let's see what happens. Something else I saw today, a couple of crazy things I wanted to share with you. First off, Las Vegas. If you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know Brian Lebo and I talk all the time. It looks like Vegas median home price just exceeded $400,000. Folks, a year ago, 14, 16 months ago, many of us, myself included, were like, ooh, Vegas shut down? How can their housing market take off? Well, first off, you have Gavin Newsom being the #1 realtor in Nevada. So a lot of folks left California for Nevada, a la Graham Stephan, for example. Then you have a lot of other kind of stimulus that we've talked about. And yeah, supply and demand, housing in Vegas is on fire, up 22% year on year. $405,000 is the median price. That is crazy. Found an article that highlights what the average renter is behind. The average renter who is late or not paying rent is down $3,700, which actually, I'll be honest, a lot less than I expected. I did not expect the average tenant to be down only $3,700. I would have guessed probably double that, but yes, the average tenant is down $3,700. In further record, I called my property management team and asked how much back rent, I guess you would call it, that we have received. We have plenty of tenants who have applied, and we are starting to see some proceeds come in. I was unaware of any, but I asked yesterday just for you, and it looks like we've collected about $6,000 in back rent from about 50 or 60,000 that are late. So, yeah, so we have received some. Didn't even know that, but I asked just for you. It looks like the return to office is being delayed. I don't know if you've seen these. There was a lot of talk earlier in the year about September, Labor Day, all of that. Looks like more and more folks are like, nope, we'll wait till January. So again, the return to office, the corner store, the coffee shop, all of that in the big cities may be slower to return than hoped. June housing data came out. I just want to talk about it again because, again, I did 50 years of data, and now I'm looking at the 50 years in context of this year, and it is pretty eye-opening, some of the things. But again, year-on-year price appreciation was 24.8%. The median home price across the U.S. was $386,888. Solds were up 20.6%, while listings were down roughly 40%. And, okay, interest rates were down to 2.78%. One of the things you're going to see in the 50 years of data is interest rates play an outsized importance, I guess you would call it. So if you want to tell me when interest rates go from 2.78 to 5%, I can tell you when the big slowdown occurs. Or is it going to go to 1% like some people are calling for? Pretty crazy. That said, the housing slowdown is real. I have more and more evidence from more and more places across the country that demand has been pulled forward. Again, I'm a big supply and demand follower as an economist, and I think a lot of the demand was pulled forward. People are talking about another shutdown. Will it have another surprise impact on housing? I don't think so. I think the people that wanted to buy bought. These are not like shoes. You don't need a second, a third, and a fourth home. So I think the demand has already been pulled forward. I think listings could fall if we had another shutdown, but again, I'm not calling for a shutdown, so I think listings increase into the fall, and we get back to a more balanced market. That is the housing slowdown. If any of you have rentals in Portland, Oregon, I would love to hear from you. I read some frightening stuff about Portland today, which I don't know if is true, so I would love to hear from you. Apparently, Portland makes California landlords look like we got it easy. Man, if you're a Portland landlord, I feel for you. If this is true, apparently you have to apply to get a rent increase. You have to apply to some rental board, which, oh, by the way, none of these people own rentals, I'm sure. They're just some, I don't know, whatever. But yeah. And, oh, by the way, landlords in Portland just had a property reset or property taxes reset. They went up 50 to 100%. And, oh, by the way, landlords can't raise rents to cover costs. This is a way to go broke, people. If you have rentals in Portland, I would love to talk to you, interview you on my channel if you could, because these I guess you'd call them laws, are insane and make California look like the easiest place to be a landlord. I mean, Jesus, crazy. The last thing to talk about is the unemployment cliff that we have in September. It's actually September 6th. I have a question from you, and I want some interaction. Do me a favor, in your interaction, realize that if you throw out negativity, hate, big bold letters, I'm just going to delete your comment, so save your keystrokes. But I do want to hear from you. Does anybody really believe that they're going to let the unemployment, the $300 cliff, I guess you would call it, expire on September 6th? Are we really believing that story? That is currently the talk track from the administration. I do not believe it given past behavior. They said, we won't extend the eviction moratorium. July is the last time. We know how that ended. Oh, by the way, student loan forgiveness and debt payment, we won't extend it. Oh, wait, they just did. Now they're saying we're not going to extend unemployment. Come on, really? I can already hear the people holding their breath, whining, talking about this or that. And yeah, it will be extended is my guess. They will blame this or that, but it will be extended and it will still be hard to hire employees. This is just so funny to me. Oh yeah, we won't do it. Oh yeah, sure you won't do it. Anyway, folks, it is okay. Have a wonderful day, and we will be talking in about, 14, 13, 12 minutes, something like that. I'm going to go get set up. We will do our live Q&A shortly. Have a wonderful Saturday. If you want to change your financial future, buy the course. Let's have some fun. Take care. We'll see you in the Facebook group. Bye.